Hello, welcome back to the Games Kingdom. My name's Carl King and today we're going to be looking at some kits from WARGAMES Atlantic. They've kindly sent me these so that I can sort of show you them in their unmade state on the sprues. I've made a few up from each box and I've painted those and based some of them. So what we'll do, we'll go through each one individually, each sort of kit, and we'll show you what they are, and then obviously you can have a look and see whether these are items that you would like to purchase yourself and put them into armies and forces that you may already have or are thinking of starting up, and also having a look at one particular set of kits where they are sort of sci-fi guys which will do a multitude of games. So what we'll do, we'll start off with their Renaissance Cavalry. So what you get in the box is 12 horses and riders, but you also get 8 war dogs. Now what you can do with these is in the 15th, 16th and into the 17th century you can make these up into various different riders. So you can put them with lances, you have got some with swords, you've got some with pistols. I think there's a couple of different pistols actually. You've got plate armour on the guys. There's different heads, there's helmeted heads and others, but we'll show you the sprues in a bit. And then obviously you've got horses. So again, with the horse heads you get the option to put plated armour on the horses. So I've done them on the heads, but I haven't put the plate armoured things as yet on the horse bodies, just to show you what they look like with sort of a bit of each on there, to be honest. So as I say, you get 12 in the box. So you'll obviously need to check in your own regions of the world on costs for these kits where you come from, but they are available sort of pretty much worldwide now, and their sort of ranges are getting bigger and expanding all the time. So keep an eye on their website and check out their website for not just these kits but for others that they do. So we'll show you quickly the back of the box as well. So that's what you've got there. So as you can see, you've got the riders there, and then on some of the bases they put the dogs. So you can put the dogs on the bases if you want, or you can have them maybe as a pack of dogs. If you could use the dogs for completely different things if you want, perhaps sort of like a hunting pack if you're doing that sort of scene from various sort of ages. The one thing you don't get in with WARGAMES Atlantic is bases. So I believe you can buy bases from them separately, but on these kits, and I believe in all of the boxes that they do, they don't give you any bases, because obviously basing is an individual thing. Some people like putting figures on individual bases, and some like putting them on multi-bases. So if you've got, you know, a pack of individual bases in here, it might not suit everybody, so it's obviously best to leave those out, because you never know what somebody's going to do. Obviously with the individual guys, that's probably less of an issue, so maybe they could put some cheap sort of round plastic and or square plastic bases in to cover them. But the trouble is you get so many figures in these WARGAMES Atlantic boxes, and in a lot of their boxes you get more for your money than you do if you would buy other makes. But obviously, as I say, check them out and see whether they're going to be what you want to do. So let's have a quick look through some of the sprues. So on this one you can see we've got the horses, so we've got and some saddles there. And again, that's another one for me to make up, and we've got some there that I've sort of taken bits out of. We've got some sprues here which, as you can see, I've taken some bits out of, but they've got some shields, and we will show you the made up figures at the end of each little section of video. This is a complete shield, so sprue. So on here, as you can see there are 2 of the dogs at the top, so hopefully you'll getting those, and these ones have got some of the saddles on as well, and some swords, and also some of the heads. So we've got some more of those sprues, and then we've come on to one of the rider sprues. Now all of these sprues are pretty much the same, so as you can see here we've got these, and you've got all of the sort of lance arms, you've got some arms where they're showing some hand weapons, you've got some where they are showing arms with swords. So obviously, you know, I'm giving you a quick flyby on these things, but if you want to have maybe closer look and that, if you check out the website, you'll see on there exactly what they look like. But you can see there obviously the rider bodies, and then you put on the arms and heads that you want, and you get several of those. So as I say, you get enough to make 12 riders. So as you can see there, again, there are some spaces where I've clipped off some of the things, and we've still got some to make up. Now I've made these up to go into a fantasy army, and I've done some of them with lances, and I've done one as a guy with a sword, and then I've done a couple with pistols. So we'll quickly show you these. So these are the ones that I've made up and painted. So I wanted them to look with a fairly sort of dark coloured plate, so I painted that with a quite dark paint first, and then I dry brushed it with some plate mail, and then I've done different colours of the horses, so grey, black and white. But as you can see there, there's some with lances, there's a guy there with a outstretched pistol arm, then you've got a leader figure there with his sword raised to signal a charge hopefully, and then a couple more at the end. So, and as I say, we've got the horses. Now just literally licked the bases on these with a bit of green paint. Haven't based those up yet. I'm not sure how I'm going to base them, probably individual myself on sort of 25 by 50s, which seems to be the standard for most sort of fantasy armies. But so that's the first set. That's the Renaissance Heavy Cavalry. So next we've got some World War II Panzer LEHR Division German infantry. So again, this is quite a nice size of kit, and you get the option to make 30 in here. So if you're building up, say, units of 10, you've got 3 complete squads here. You could even make obviously 6 squads of 5 for games such as bolt action. You've got all manner of different rule sets out there these days. Bolt action is a game that I used to play, so if I start up again, then this is probably the way I'm going to go with an army of my own. So this sort of Panzer LEHR division was sort of saw some of the heaviest fighting in France in '44 until the eventual surrender in April 1945 within Germany. So as I say, you got rifles, MP40s, Panzerfausts, MG42s, grenades, pistols, and a lot more options. Now I've just done about 10 or 12 of them at the minute. I think about 12, just to give you an overview of what you can put them on. I've not completely finished them. I've put some grey stuff on. They're not based individually. I've just stuck them on some longer bases just to give you an idea of what they could potentially look like. So they're about sort of 75% done. I need to put some equipment on them depending on what I'm going to equip them with. So I'll have a look through the rule books and see stuff that they can have for different points, values and things in different games. But again, that's the back of the box. So as you can see, it gives you the detail there of the unit itself, and then obviously you've got the option to put in there exactly what you want. So you could do a whole sort of mini squad with submachine guns. You've got LMGs and different things that you can have guys sort of walking around with, and obviously your normal rifles and your Panzerfaust. So that's your box, and you, as I say, you get 30 multi-part hard plastic figures in there. So again, what we'll do, we'll have a look at some of the sprues. So this is a complete sprue, so you get 6 guys on a sprue, so you're going to get 5 in the box, and you've got those multiple arm options. You've got some arms where they're actually carrying a Panzerfaust. You've got loose Panzerfaust, so you can sort of, you know, have a guy kneeling down or standing up and maybe have one on the floor. But so all the sprues are pretty much the same, and again you get multiple head choices. So hopefully you can see there that you've got your different head choices. And as I say, I've started to paint these ones up, but I've just got to finish them off once I work out exactly what I want them to have, and then sort of do some basing and then put little bits and pieces on the bases. So as I say, they're all the same, but you get quite enough variety, including things like arms and things where they're throwing grenades. You've got sort of canisters of fuel and things like that. So you've got arms carrying sort of maps and bits and pieces. So yeah, you get, as I say, 5 complete sprues of these. So I've done 12 out of the 30, so still got sort of quite a bit of this box to do. So once I've worked out what I'm going to do, I'll then finish off what I need to on the ones that I'm about to show you. But as you can see, you know, they all sort of have a lot left over. I've, as I say, only done 12, but there's still a lot of stuff on that sprue there that you could use. And again, if you buy multiple boxes of these to do a larger force, you could obviously use a lot of the leftovers on here on the other boxes that you buy. So let's have a quick look at the 2 lots of 6 that I have painted. So hopefully you can get an idea there. So we've got an officer and a couple of guys there, one with a SMG, one with a rifle, and as you can see, started to paint those. So I've done the uniforms and the skin and the guns at the minute. So as I say, I just need to sort of do the finishing touches on these, add some things, you know, like little bits of additional bits on the backs of them, sort of equipment and stuff, and maybe a few bits on the floor. So we've got a guy here, as I said, sort of reading an instruction thing or some orders or a map of where they're going to go. You know, we've got some more guys here with SMGs. We've got the Panzerfaust guy, we've got a light machine gun there, and we've got another officer with his pistol ready to shoot and his gun sort of strapped across his back, his machine gun if he wants to use that. It's just obviously using that, it's a little bit more pose on there with the gun in his hand. So yeah, these are nice figures. As I say, you get a lot more in these kits than you do in many of the others for your money, so it's well worth checking these out. And yeah, there's no difference really in the detail. You know, they have to be historically accurate. It's not like when you're doing fantasy kits you can get away with bits and pieces here and there. If these things are done to be a historical unit, they have to be historically accurate. So you know, you can't scrimp on things on the actual model. The details got to be right, otherwise you're just not going to sell any kits at all, let alone any because they are better value. But yeah, so that's the 2 units of Germans. And then the last kit that we've got to show you are Reptilian Overlords. I think that's their sort of range, and this is the SPACENAM kit. So basically these are like sort of jungle fighters, so you could use them in a setting set on Earth if you wanted to, in things like if you want to set up something like a Predator style game, but also, you know, they do other kits in this range of sort of alien races that you can fight against if you wanted to, and then there are lots of games out there that you can use these models for, including things like Stargrave. You've got 5 Parsecs from Home, and you know, there's a lot of sort of space based skirmish games out there, and then a lot of people just do their own. You could even use these in games of you know, sort of RPG, sci-fi RPG games, if you're fighting against sort of predators, as I said, or the aliens from the Alien franchise. You could have a bunch of these guys sort of set down on the world, and they come across a bunch of aliens, and they've got to sort of get something back from a derelict spaceship or something. But yeah, these are really, really nice kits, and out of the 3, I probably think these are my favourite kit of the 3 kits that I was sent to do the reviews on. They're all very good. You know, I enjoyed building up each of them, but these, there's just something about these. I really like the aesthetics of these, and you get 20 figures in a set. So you've got interesting weapons, including like your standard rifles, your blast pistols, edged weapons, grenades, flamethrowers, grenade launchers, sniper rifles, and plasma and heat weapons. So, you know, you could use these in 40k for, you know, an army in that universe if you wanted, I assume. Games of Space Hulk, you know, all those sorts of things. But yeah, so these are the sort of figures that you get, and I've made up 2 different squads of 5, and what I'm going to do with this box of 20 eventually, again, I'm going to show you the sprues, but I'll show you the 2 painted squads of 5. I've done those 2 squads in different colours, and I'm going to do 4 different squads. So I've got a 4-player game where you can each player could take hold of a group of 5, and then you either play against each other trying to get some objectives on the tabletop, again, or you're playing against predators or aliens or other aliens on a game, and this will make an excellent sort of public participation game. So yeah, we'll see what happens with this. But let's see the sprues. So again, these sprues are all the same. You can see there that this is one of the ones that I've already cut stuff off. We'll get a full one. So you've got the bodies on here. So there's 4 bodies per frame. So again, you get 5 frames. And then you've got all your different sort of weapons in here. So your flamethrowers and your sniper rifles. You've got your double sectioned body components here. You've got your section and for the heads, so you've got all sorts of different things here. You've got caps, you've got guys with mohawks, you've got guys with baseball type caps, but yeah, these are again a nicely done kit and some very nice details. So as I say, all the sprues are the same, so you've got that multi-option. If you want to have multiple flamethrowers, well, perhaps one in each of those units, you could do, but I've done a little bit of each, so that not all the squads are exactly the same. You've got some grenade launchers, as I say, type weapons there that you could use with those sort of barrel guns there, here. So yeah, again, there's some things taken off, and yeah, so these are the figures done and based. So obviously I've based those, and I've put these on these larger bases just so I can sort of hold them and spin them around on camera, but you get the idea there. So I've done that in a sort of this squad in a brown camo pattern, and then we've got 2 more here. With say different weapon types, and then we've got a guy here, a sort of squad stroke unit leader there with a hand weapon and obviously a gun, and then we've got another guy here with again another sort of larger gun and getting ready to throw a grenade. So as I say, that is one camo pattern. I'm going to do camo patterns on them all, but obviously each squad's going to be different. So that one was brown. We've got these in blue. So again, you know, you can give some of the squads the same weapons, you just give them a different opposing arm, and then you've got a complete, and a head, and you've got a completely different pose on a model that's got the same weapons. So we've got a guy here with his sniper rifle getting ready to take out an opposing enemy squad member, and then here we've got two more guys, one with a flamethrower, one with a small sort of machine gun stroke machine pistol, and then we've got, with the classic sort of beret, we've got again a squad leader with his trusty sword stroke knife and his gun. And as I say, you can see that I've put a sort of camo pattern on these guys, and it's come out quite well. So what do we think? Yeah, these are excellent models, and as I say, for what you're going to pay for them, you won't get better value for these anywhere, I don't think. So yeah, these particular ones here are fantastic for what you get in the boxes. You know, sort of 30 models in a box for some of these sort of Germans and things. You only need maybe 2 boxes of those, and you've got pretty much enough for a full infantry army for games like Bolt Action, because you'll pad the rest of the force out with things like your vehicles and your tanks and your artillery pieces and stuff like that. So 2 boxes of those is going to give you potentially 6 10-man squads, or 10 you know, 6-man squads. So you know, with that, and you've got obviously your SMG teams you can use, so you can make some of the guys up as a sort of a 3-man SMG team, and you've got multiple options for those. So you could have 2 or 3 of those in your force if you wanted, because you'll have enough for those figures to go around and make enough bodies for the rest of your army. So yeah, if you like the look of those, then check out the WARGAMES Atlantic website, or at your local sort of WARGAMES Atlantic distributor in your area, and or your local game store. If they don't stock them, then perhaps have a word with them and see whether they can, and yeah, check out the ranges. So until we do this again with some more kits that hopefully will come in the future, it's bye for now.